Good morning. Good morning. After two inspiring stewardship talks with Ann Evans and Clary Ellis, I'd like us today to think about and explore the idea of thin places. What is a thin place? In my mind, a thin place occurs whenever and wherever God's presence is felt and a spiritual sense of communion occurs. It's a place or a moment where an ineffable dimension of the eternal opens and palpably shares space in our temporal world. It's a heart and soul-stirring experience of God's love to encounter the divine in a place, a moment, or an exchange with another. As an architect, I've got to ask, isn't this beautiful sanctuary a thin place that encourages and nurtures encounters with God? Do you remember the first time that you entered this space to worship? I do. I recall that first time. Dran and I were visiting churches, and we decided to come to Immanuel in 1984 because we were seeking a place to be married. We came to worship at my former high school church, and what a delightful surprise. I encountered a 3-layered thin place through this light-filled, beautiful sanctuary. The powerful and thoughtful sermon by John Sonnenday, and not least, the engaging conversational welcome that Carolyn Gabrielson gave us during coffee hour. Immanuel had us at hello. I recall a thin place that occurred at our wedding. Dran and I standing together right there with John Sonnenday presiding over our vows, and the Holy Spirit beaming blessings down from above. I recall a thin place created at my mother's memorial service here in this space with Kim Pacala's beautiful rendition of the Lord's Prayer, Aaron's deeply moving homily about what to hold on to and what to let go, and the numerous family members and friends who offered eulogies that captured and expressed my mother's soul with love. I recall experiencing a double-layered thin place at our grandson Aiden's baptism when Aaron carried him into the congregation to meet and greet all of you. And then being inspired by Carolyn Gabrielson, I recall seeing a visitor after the service who I welcomed by introducing myself and then bringing her over to meet every member of the Erickson Gatos clan to join in our celebration that day. I found God's presence shining through a thin place in the parlor of the church house during every meeting of the pastor nominating committee, where a group of 10 Emmanuelites gathered every week, often multiple times each week, to discern God's call as we sought a new head pastor to lead our community into the future. On All Saints Sunday, I find thin places in small yet buoyant moments. John Chase's wink and twinkling smile. Neil Neelis's very reliably firm handshake. Pastor Katie's effervescent joy. As I'm sure is true for many of you, I find a thin place in our incredibly inspiring music program. A thin place at the Christmas cantata, and for me, especially the timpani. I find a thin place every Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m. with the men's Bible study, where a deeply thoughtful, candid, vulnerable, and caring fraternity of committed brothers has formed, unlike any group I've ever encountered in my life. Did you, like me, find a thin place this morning in being transported by the hymn, Holy, 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 and the prayer of approach and confession, and by Aaron's sermon? If I were to continue listing all of the thin places I find at Immanuel, this would no longer be a minute for mission. So I ask you, where do you find Immanuel to be a thin place? Is it singing in the choir or playing in the evening service band? Is it organizing or participating in our hypothermia program each year? By the way, if you haven't heard Dave Reagan leading Christmas carols at hypothermia, I encourage you to join that thin place. Is it in preparing for a real world, real faith presentation or attending one? Is it participating in the Immanuel auction? Is it providing love and support to others as an active member of our amazing Congregational Care Committee? Is it serving as a Stephen minister to provide a reliable presence for those in our community navigating life's most difficult passages? Is it serving on a mission trip to Cuba or Peru, or building and repairing houses with youth in our Habitat program? Where do you find Immanuel to be a thin place? I can't help but close without recalling Seb Lasher's brilliant and inspired wisdom in proposing that we name and dedicate the recently completed multipurpose education building right over there as the Meeting House. Right? A place where we talk about angels and miracles, where we share stories, meals, laughter and joy, tears and grief. A place where we challenge and support one another in love. As you consider where to place your time, your talent, and your treasure, please consider this thin place that we call Immanuel.